Previously on Scrap Mechanic, I built this. So those who missed that last video, basically this was an automatic system that planted, watered, harvested, but when it harvested, it split the seeds from the product. It has since been beaten a little bit by the bots. Well, I wanted to make it bigger, I wanted to scale it up, and I wanted to see if I could automate it all the way to the packaging process. And I did a live stream about it that I messed up. The first hour I wasn't actually live. We managed to build this. Now I'll walk you through this before I show you how it works because it's a little bit confusing. But just before I do that, I'm looking to try and record a little Q&A. So if anybody's got any questions, if you go to the top link in the description, click that link, it'll open up something. Ask me the question in there. And when I got loads of questions, I will do the Q&A. Thank you very much. Back to the video. So we've got this split up into various number of systems. It's the easiest way to go through it. Number one is the watering. This is a little less conventional to your watering system. Everybody knows how to set up a watering system. It was the last thing that I built of this entire project, and it's just basically like a sprinkler system that just throws water all over the crops. It doesn't water every single crop, but it was just there as I needed a watering system, and that's just what I came up with. 2 system is the planting. 3 system is like all this pipe work here and up here. So this is our sorting system. And our sorting system sorts our seeds from our fruits and vegetables. And then finally we've got our harvesting system. I will talk you through the harvesting system onwards if you like. So this is our harvesting system. I'm using modified parts, I'm using fonts mods because I feel that they're the most flexible parts to use for a lot of the work. Our harvesting system is pretty standard. We have 6 vacuum pumps that enable me to harvest this entire plot. They detect when the crops are grown using this sensor and this sensor here. This sensor looks at this plot and this sensor looks at this plot. When this plot and that plot are fully grown, it activates this system. This then folds down, and that little sensor right at the top there will detect this blue block, and that will activate the vacuum pumps, and basically it will harvest the lot. Then it will reset to its position where it is currently right now. Now the important thing here is we end up with our crops and our fruits and vegetables in this chest after it's been harvested. So it will look something like this. And that's where this fruit system comes into play. And this seed system comes into play. Currently everything is turned off, but when I click this switch using the mods, this vacuum pump will basically look at this chest and it'll pick out all the fruit. When I click this switch, this vacuum pump will turn on and it'll pick out all the seeds that is in this chest. And this is how I split my product from my seeds. I had to use these filtered chests. So I'll show you the fruit first because it's a little easier to understand and a little less confusing. I flick the switch of this vacuum pump, it looks at this chest, and normally it will draw everything out. But the other side of this wall, these pipes go over, I have this filtered chest system here, which basically tells that vacuum pump to only pull out of that chest anything that it can put into these 4 chests here. Which obviously is the exact same 4 things that we have up here. So this chest is being said to get tomatoes only, and obviously that will then pump into there. This chest is asked for beets only. This chest is carrots only, and this chest is broccoli only. So that is how I get my fruit and vegetables from that system. It only takes these 4 things. And then these 4 things are obviously going to be sitting and chilling into this. And all of these vacuum pumps, all 4 of these vacuum pumps are set up to this timer. This timer is nice and steady, nice and slow so that we don't overload the system. But if any of these chests have any product in it, it will automatically pump. And I'll try and show you that. And if we flick this switch, you'll see it starts to pump the tomatoes over. And the tomatoes are automatically loading into the system. So from harvest to product, everything is 100% automated. Out comes the tomato and done. So that's that side of the system, but what about the seeds? Now the seeds are a similar sort of system, okay? So in order to tell this vacuum pump to only take seeds, I needed to run them into a filter system, which again, we've got 4 filtered chests here. These filtered chests only take the seed type of the product that is packaged at the station. So we'll have the 4 fruit and veg go that way and the 4 seeds go this way. So in here, if you notice all of the seeds, what we've got to do is we'll turn this on. Now the seeds will all run into this chests, and they will be split accordingly. Then I needed to find a way to get the stuff from these chests into my planting system. And that's where this strange system comes in place. So currently, these vacuum pumps are now looking at this filtered chest sort. And we needed these, don't forget, to tell this vacuum pump to only take seeds. So all the seeds are now here. These vacuum pumps will draw all the seeds and they'll put them into one chest. That is literally all this is. This is just like it's like a silo, if you like. So all of our seeds will then be pulled from those chests into here. So every single seed that we harvest from this field will end up in this system. Then, and finally then, this is our planting system. So all we have here, again, is a couple of chests and then all of the vacuum pumps. So how this works is, so this vacuum pump here looks at this chest, and when it is activated, it basically pulls all the seeds into these chests. The reason why we do this is so that the planter is always full, so that we can come over here, turn this on, and it's currently taking all the seeds out of here and putting them in its own system. And basically, guys, that is that. How this is all automated is literally from when the crops are grown. So that sensor that I'm looking at right there and that sensor that I'm looking at right there are the triggers for this entire system. That sensor there will notice when that crop is grown, and likewise that sensor there will notice when that crop is grown. And when both of those sensors, because that's an AND gate there, so that sensor and that sensor activate, it activates this controller, which swings this arm down. It also activates this memory bit. This memory bit starts this countdown timer. This countdown timer lets this harvester swing down, harvest, and get back into position. It also gives a little bit of time for seeds to make their way through the system. Once that timer is ready, that then activates this memory bit and this timer. And what you got here is this memory bit and timer activate this controller to send our planter out and back. This sensor here is looking at this leg of the planter. And what it notices, when this goes away, it activates this timer that starts a countdown, gives this enough time to get back into position, activates this memory block here, which activates this crazy watering system. A lot to go through, but I will show you guys what I mean. So that sensor is now activated. It's now censoring that, but it's not doing anything because we need this guy to activate. So this activates and then it's on. Harvester swings down, harvest it. This timer is counting down, buying us a little bit of time to get the seeds and stuff through. Then that activates this, and now this rolls out. Now you might be thinking, but it's missing everything. It misses every other row apart from when the piston has to fire the second time, but it gets it on the return journey. Unfortunately, it does double plant one row, but I don't really mind that right now. This timer is currently counting down. This is back in position. Activates all this set. And then we have this kind of crazy watering system that is just a little bit random. Like I say, it's just a sprinkler system. And it just covers most of the field. But that, guys, is basically this automatic system. It's done what it needed to do. It's actually covered most of the plots. I'm quite impressed. It's done me well there. But that is the system. It automatically shuts itself off, and then you just wait for it to grow. But once it has grown, the cycle repeats. It's as simple as that. Unfortunately, due to rendering distance, this farm wouldn't work constantly if I wasn't around. But if I was nearby, obviously, it'll work fine. It's fully automatic all the way up to this section here. So as you've seen, because it harvested all those tomatoes, we've now got a load of packages here. And this is our last place. This is where we are from here. Unfortunately, I cannot then automate the process from here all the way over to the trader. simply because the rendering distance doesn't allow it. So there would have to be something where I was on a seat, or you know what I mean, the player has to travel with the crop. There's no reason why it can't be automated in that sense, but it seems a little bit, I don't know, inefficient if the player has to travel with the goods. It doesn't seem very automatic in my eyes in that sense. You might as well just grab a vehicle and have some fun with it. But that is basically this fully automated system. I quite enjoyed building this. It took a little bit of time to work my head around a few things, but I've got to say, Fonts mods are some of the greatest. They enable you to do a lot more than what you first realise. I love the flexibility that they offer. I understand, don't get me wrong, that having this many vacuum pipe pieces isn't ideal, but I also know that he's tried to do a little bit of stuff to kind of make it so that they're not so laggy. But it is a less than ideal system, but it does work, and it does work really well. I appreciate it, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think. Take it easy, and bye for now.